Welcome to the Fast Track training for new business builders. This is Todd Burrier, and I'm going to take you through this presentation and give you the ins and outs of getting started and how simple you can really begin engaging with the Million Lives team to really grow something that's meaningful for you or for your family or for whatever the reason that you're here. I've been involved in Life Plus for over 20 years. It's been an incredible experience for me and my family. It was, my history behind that was, a little struggle prior to that, and I had to work hard, but at the time I found Life Plus, I was bankrupt after some bad business decisions prior to that, and years before that, I had been laid off a few times, so it wasn't one of these things where, hey, I just got real successful. It was, school hard knocks for a long time. But this has been an incredible experience. And my story is well documented. If you haven't seen the Spread Your Wings webinar, my story is very detailed there. And so I'm not going to spend time on it right here, just that I know the value of what this can do at any level. I mean, I've taught and trained people in the company for years all over the world. I do the leadership training for the company at Life Plus University. I've been very blessed because I love to teach, and this has given me a platform to do what I love in the work. But it's really the freedom and the lifestyle that has allowed me to invest in my family and spend time with my children and literally really participate in life fully. And so I don't know what your reason is for being here, but that's kind of, for me, the ability to really serve others and help people and do something of significance on my own terms. That's a really cool way to live. But this is a pretty amazing thing that you are getting started with. And so I'm going to take you through quite a bit. So first, I just want to kind of reinforce your decision. The home business is one of the smartest things you can do. I don't know if you were thinking about it that way, but in today's world, it is. It literally, everybody should have a home business. If they don't actually understand what it means, right? They don't understand the tax implications of having a home business and that you can keep more of what you make. They don't understand the security implications of a home business because there isn't really security in a job, no matter what that is. I know I experienced that multiple times early in my career when I was working for other people and laid off because of circumstances out of my control. But in today's age and with what's going on in the world, there is nothing smarter than building a home business, a safety net, or something much greater, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish. So let me take you through a couple of these points right here. First of all, you're in the right industries at the right time. I mentioned home business, but now I'm going to put a little teeth into it. The home business industry is now at 100 million people worldwide, and it's really exploding. I mean, it is exploding. It's only been a matter of time. I mean, I have a background in economics with an MBA, and I could see this coming a long time ago. It was pretty evident that it was happening. And then the advance of technology, the acceleration of technology just accelerated the ability. And the same technology that changes the scope of the job market and makes globalization easier and influences everybody's living has created massive windows of opportunity in the home business industry. And so what's going to happen in the next decade is this industry is going to triple to quintuple. And that means that there is going to be enormous opportunity. And for me, and again, you'll get to know me a little more, it represents a huge responsibility because you see, when the tide rises, all ships go up. And that means I know that there's going to be companies that aren't good that will grow. And unfortunately, they won't last. And so then you'll have people who really have broken hope. And that's unacceptable to me. We have something that's so good and so pure and just, it is just, the deeper you look, the better it gets. It's one of those rare things that what you see on the surface doesn't even hold a candle to how it looks the deeper you go, when everything else out there, and not in everything, but in general, things are the opposite, right? The shiny surface is as good as it gets. And when you go down deep, then you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not so sure. We have something that needs to get out, and we're taking it out. I mean, we're leading it out into the market, and we're growing dramatically right now because what we have is so good, and it helps so many people. And it's a responsibility to get it out in front of people so they don't end up in the wrong things, and they end up in something that you can work at and build for life. And that's the power. So the home business industry is booming, and you have an amazing thing, honest, fair way to build something substantial to share with people. And then wellness. I mean, obviously, the proactive movement for wellness is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's, every single market is growing. Health and just general health, weight loss, anti-aging, fitness, you name it. You just keep expanding that. All of those things, health issues, all those things are increasing the need for, and those markets are getting bigger. And we have products that are at the top of the top. They are pharmaceutical grade. They are, made with ingredients that are better than organic due to all of our lab testing for ingredients and our requirements for ingredients. They are cold processed so that they are alive. They're small batch so that they're fresh. I mean, these products are second to none. I mean, that's why you build such a residual income. I was able to take several years off and not work at all, and more than provide for my family after I had built the business. And so that was a long time ago. I have a huge mission right now because I feel a responsibility for literally making this company a household name in the United States. And we're going to do that. We're in the process of it. So you're in the right industries at the right time and with what I believe is the most important home business company of the next 10 years, because this company is going to reshape the way the home business industry is done. Because what we do is too fair and too honest and too good. And so you're at a great time to be with us, and you'll see even more about that in just a moment. Certainly the right tools and support, you'll see that as I take you through tonight. You are with the right company, 25 years old plus and debt-free with tremendous facilities. I invite you to go down to Batesville, Arkansas anytime and take a look. Just think about the fact that we produce videos that show our entire manufacturing process. Who does that? The answer is no one. No one does that because they can't. They either wouldn't or they actually can't, because most companies don't make the investment in their future that this company has. That's something you can be really proud of. And you're certainly at the right time. 95% of the sales of this company are outside of the United States. We are a very unique company in that we are well established with phenomenal products, and we are a little known in the United States, but we are exploding in the United States right now. Why? Because we're just too good a thing to not. That's just the fact. So you'll find that as you work with us and people learn about it, they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. And so you are certainly with the right team. We are the team leading the charge. And I will tell you, the people that you're going to meet that are part of this team are phenomenal. I will put them up against any organization I've ever seen anywhere. And I've seen a lot because I've trained companies like Under Armour and Penguin Random House and Otsuka Pharmaceuticals and Aerotech and a lot of really big companies. I've trained their leadership, and I've never seen better people. And when I say better, I'm not talking about smarter. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about real quality people who care about each other and are supportive and helpful and inspiring. And I mean, you'll see what I mean. That when you get around these people and you get in our space, you'll go, wow, these are phenomenal people. That's what we attract. We attract people that become phenomenal or already are phenomenal. That's just what we attract. That's what it's about. It's about growing good people and helping people. And that's what, good people have a heart to help people. That's what we attract. Just see as you go forward. Again, it's a hard thing to kind of quantify for you, but it's a really cool community that you are becoming a part of. And then part-time or full-time, you can do whatever you want with this. I mean, it's yours. You're not going to have any pressure. We're going to help you accomplish what you want, because what you want from this is what's most important. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And here's the one thing I will tell you, that what this will do in your life over the next 12 months. And that doesn't mean you want to challenges. Everything that's of value has challenges. But man, this is not that difficult to do. You will have to be consistent. You will have to put value into the market. You will have to help people. But it's proven. And the only way to not succeed is to quit or not start. I mean, that's just a fact. And anybody can do this because anybody has done this. And so, over the next 12 months, I'm telling you, your life is going to look a lot different and in a lot better in a lot of different ways. And you may have a great life now. But the truth is, most people that work with us, their life gets better in every area dramatically within a few months, but really dramatically within 12, especially with the way we are teaching and working and how fast we are growing right now. So what does it actually mean for you? Personal development, interpersonal skills, and professional skills are fundamental to what you will get from this. These skills will help you be better in every area of your life. You will do better in your job. You will do better in your organizations that you serve. You will do better in the causes that you're a part of. You will do better with your relationships because of what you learn, period. We help people be better, and that will happen as literally tangentially from what we do. You will certainly have better health and more energy and more vitality. You certainly will have improved relationships. You will definitely have increased income just by taking action. And that's going to be, that'll be kind of an interesting thing, because for some of you, 12 months from now, you will have a really serious income. You will. And you will have decided that's going to happen, and you'll have the support and the tools to make it happen, and you will. And then some of you will have an income that's really meaningful for you that won't be what others might consider serious, but it doesn't matter because it's what matters for you. And so making a difference is what this is all about. That's what we're all about, making a difference in the world. I heard it once said, it might have been Mandela who said it, but playing small is selfish. Not being what you can be does not serve the world, right? We're not put on this planet to be consumers. We're put on this planet to make a contribution that we each uniquely can make, right? There aren't mistakes. You're here for a reason. You've been given the simple affinities and blessings and gifts and talents and skills and knowledge and resources that you have right now to make a difference, right? Not to just consume stuff. I mean, it's okay to consume stuff, right? And if you make a big enough difference, you can consume more stuff. But the truth is, it's about making a difference, about something bigger than ourselves. And yeah, in the big picture, you can travel more, or call it the big picture, right? You really invest yourself in causes and have way more true security, right? Security in general is a superstition, but there's always, for many people, there has been for years a really false sense of security around a job, when there's actually no security at all. They think having a job is security, when actually it makes you more vulnerable. Having security is building income streams that you are the one controlling how they are created. And then freedom. I mean, this is what drove me into the industry years ago when I was laid off the second time in banking, and we were pregnant, and that was an awful feeling. I just will never forget. I said, that is never going to happen to me again. I will find something. And I wasn't a big thinker. I didn't grow up with any money. I didn't have any track record of success. I was a shy, low confidence introvert, scared to death, but I was unwilling to live with that someone controlling what would happen to my family. And so, I haven't had to wear shoes for 28 years as a result. And then confidence. The confidence that you will derive from what you learn and what happens in your life, it's life-changing. And I think the best way I can describe it is feeling alive. I mean, this is my favorite one because it's how I feel. I am so alive every day. Every day, to me, it's like, oh my gosh, I get this day. I get to make a difference this day. I get to have the opportunity to serve someone, to help someone, and share something and make a difference. Man, and I tell you, when you make a difference in someone's life and they let you know that is better than anything anyone could ever give you. It is an incredible feeling. And it's not a feeling that only lasts for a few minutes. It is a feeling that stays with you. And when you're doing it for your life, wow, there's no way for me to give that to you. You'll have to experience that. And here's how you have to experience that. You see, you cannot comfortably grow your way to someplace you've never been. So what do I mean by that? Well, to be successful in your life, right, to do something new, you're going to have to get uncomfortable, because that means you're going to do something new. And new, by definition, is going to be uncomfortable because it's new, right? That's just how we are as human beings. And so you're going to have to get uncomfortable. Doesn't mean it'll last, because your comfort zone has the ability to stretch, right? And actually you can break it. You can just totally break it. But for most people, they got to step outside of it. And some people say, oh no, I don't want to get uncomfortable. I don't like being uncomfortable. Well, the truth is, everybody on the planet is going to be uncomfortable, right? You're either going to be uncomfortable because you're not taking action, right? You're in your comfort zone, but you're not living the life you want. You're not living the life you know you could live. You're not using your gifts. You're not achieving what you want. You don't have the things in your life that you could have. Why? Because you're stuck in your comfort zone and you're afraid to go outside of it. So is that comfortable? No, that's uncomfortable. Matter of fact, that's ultimately miserable, right? The flip side is to be uncomfortable taking a step outside, because outside of your comfort zone is where the fruit is. Outside of your comfort zone is where growth and excitement and learning and knowledge and education and possibility all exists outside of your comfort zone. And man, when you're outside of your comfort zone, that's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's living, it's feeling alive, it's waking up with purpose every day. I think you get the meaning. All right, so that's what I'm talking about here. Yeah, you'll stretch a little bit, but we give you ways to make it to comfortably get uncomfortable, believe it or not. Okay, so what you get for free when you work with us. So let's start. I mean, this is important stuff. So you get a free business building referral account. You might be like, what is that? So what? Well, if you were in any other home business, you'd probably spend 35 to 40 bucks just for the right to be in that home business. Just for the right. You don't get anything really, just the right. Here it's free. You get a corporate website. That is a website. I'll show you how you do that in a second. But that's a website that people can order through. It's a really beautiful site, and that's free. Most companies will charge you 20 to 30 bucks. It's free here. You get an online business tracking site to see what's happening in your business. That's free. For most companies, they charge you for that. Then we have our Million Lives team training site. In most companies, you have to buy a big training package that someone, in the company has created for you. And you'll typically spend anywhere from $59 to $99 or more. And it'll be worth it. It'll be great material. But here, we provide all that to you for free. Doesn't mean you shouldn't invest in yourself, but we just provide it for you for free. And more specifically, I provide it for you for free. I do world-class level training. I mean, people pay me a lot of money to train. Because it's what I do. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know exactly how to teach someone how to build a business. We give you the tools that you can learn from for free in this group. Then you have Million Lives Team tool site. This is another cool thing. Again, instead of having to spend your money for catalogs and brochures and DVDs and CDs, we build you an entire suite of tools online that you can access free, which in a click of a button from a smartphone from anywhere on the planet, you can send someone the link to some information that they're interested in. They can decide whether they're interested in using your product or getting involved in your business while you're out walking your dog, right? All for free, instead of the hundreds of dollars you would have had to invest in that if we made you buy DVDs or CDs. So we give you all this stuff for free to help you get started. Of course, our support group is for free. Your sponsor support is not just for free. It's super free, because the way that we work, our structure is that we don't get any benefit if you don't. That's the beauty. It's not like some other kind of home business where they made you buy, $1,500 worth of stuff because, that was a super duper sign up coded bonus double flip back downline thing builder club, something, right? And so, they all kinds of little games. We don't have that, right? What we have is use our products. You should use our products. They're great products, and you should believe in our products, and you should invest in yourself to take care of yourself. That's it. You don't pay, or you don't give bonus money to anybody or nothing. You buy your products, you use your products, and the only way your sponsor really earns anything is if you're successful. Period. What a cool system. And then the company support is absolutely off the hook. They do everything. They keep all of the risk. Think about that. All of the risk. It's remarkable, really. It's actually a remarkable thing. Okay, getting set up to take action. Okay, so a couple of quick things here. The ASAP program is our automatic shipping program, right? And that's what's a normal part of the marketplace, except ours isn't a normal one. Ours is the most consumer friendly in the marketplace. In other words, there are some products that carry a shipping discount. There are some products that are free if they're on auto ship. There are some products that are discounted price on auto ship, not all, but some. And then there's discounted shipping for overall size order on auto ship. The way the company operates is you can ask for auto ship verbally, or you can click a button on the website when you order and order something via auto ship, first order. But there's no contract. That's not really an agreement, right? Because you could turn around the next day and say, hey, I cancel my auto ship, and that's fine. And so you will still gotten the auto ship pricing. So nobody does that, nobody, but we do, because we're about treating people fairly. And so that is a powerful auto ship. Then we have plan A, which is your normal type of auto ship that says, make sure I get this shipped every day on the 6th, every month on the 6th day, right? And then you have a plan B, which says, I like to have the advantages of the automatic shipment, but I don't want to be locked into one thing all the time. So let me set up a plan B order. And what that means is if I don't order by the 20th every month, then my automatic shipment will be shipped out on the 21st. But if I do order by the 20th, then I won't get my automatic shipment because I will have already placed an order and I don't need my backup order. So that allows me to take advantage of the auto ship without being locked into the same thing. And I never have to worry about, oh my gosh, I didn't order this month. Of course, that wouldn't be the case for most people anyway, because people love our products, and missing a bonus check because they didn't order, which wouldn't make any sense and probably would never happen because we're really diligent about making sure people don't lose anything or miss anything. Okay, so then know your why. And this is really what matters. The how is easy to learn, but the why is what matters in someone's life. It's the deep reason. It's the deep reason you want to do something greater than you. It's the deep reason that you want to make something happen. That thing that really matters. It's never money. Money's never it. Money is the surface representation of something deeper, and so it's important to get in touch with what drives you. For me, it was freedom. At first, it was freedom, and then by the time I got to Life Plus, it was family. I have 2 children that are. My son at this time is almost 28. My daughter is going, halfway to 26. And my kids never saw me go to a job in their entire life. Never. I struggled in the first several years in home business until I found Life Plus. But still, I was still home. And what was that worth? I mean, it was priceless. It was absolutely priceless. I saw more and did more with my children than most parents will in 3 lifetimes put together. That's an amazing thing. It's something that I cherish that because it's unbelievable. And it was all possible because I just made a decision to do it, right? Now, I wasn't any better. Matter of fact, it was harder for me because of being a shy introvert, blah, blah, blah. But man, what fruit, what fruit. So know your why, right? That's my why now is serving. I want to help 1 million people. That's just flat out the truth. And we're doing it. We're doing it. And that's a serious cause. We're talking about helping 1 million people. And when you help 1 million people, you're not just helping 1 million people, you're helping everybody they touch. Man, that'll make you feel alive. That will make you feel alive. Then know your goals so we can guide you, right? What are your goals? And then hours per week. And it's important for you to know the hours per week because you need to show up for your dream. And what I mean by that is, most everybody, or you probably still have a job. Most everybody does, right? And so you have a job and you're going to go to that job whether you feel like it or not. Right? You're going to go some days when you really don't feel like it, but you're going to go, right? Why? Because if you don't, you have consequences and you lose that job. Well, you know what? Fact is, you might be going there to work every day and you're getting paid for it, but you're actually working for someone else's dream, right? You are a part of someone else's dream. When you work for your Life Plus business, right? When you set aside your 5 hours, your 7 hours, your 9 hours, your 10 hours, whatever that is, that investment is for your dream. That's for your family. That's the real thing, right? So you gotta give yourself at least as much respect as you give a job that's not for your dream. Okay, so setting up your Life Plus website. And your personal website, this thing will be used for primarily someone will use your Life Plus website after they have seen some other information and heard your story and they're very interested in buying the product already, right? Because this is a features website. It's an e-commerce capable, beautiful site, but it's a features site that essentially allows someone to dig deeper. But people don't make decisions of interest on features. They make them on benefits. And we created other tools for that. So what this is showing you here simply is how you set it up. You go to business tools and then personal website, and then right down here, you have lifeplus.com/your URL, and you put in whatever you want, Bob Jones, right? Or whatever that is, lifeplus.com/Bob Jones. And if somebody else has that, when you click create personal website, it'll say, no, can't use that one, and you'll have to try a different one. Bob Jones is the best, or whatever you want it to be, right? And then you might put your name in, Bob Jones, and I just suggest putting your town. You don't have to put your whole address, maybe your state, your city and state, although, people can find you in today's world. Your email address so people could reach you, and a contact phone. But mostly people aren't going to find this website until you direct them to it. And it won't be the primary thing you direct them to. It'll serve for people who want to place orders or dig deeper about a product. Okay, so then you have, whoops, I jumped a slide. Okay, so then you have what's called your GoLPI account. This is at www.golpi.com. And you go in there and you click new user, and then you come to this site. So when you come to this, you put your name in, and then your account number, and your sponsor's account number, and then your last check amount, which since you're just getting started would be 0.00, then your username and password, and follow the prompts, and boom, you create user, and now you have your own e-commerce capable, your own tracking system website. Okay, so then this is a fun slide right here, because this slide is a power slide. This slide does a lot of work for you. See, you don't really have to know everything about products. Matter of fact, the less you know, the better. You just need to know that you understand that these are high quality and that you use them. And so this site does a lot of your work. So the top site is our team marketing site, www.exploremlt.com. There is a tremendous amount of great information on the site and lots of these tools. Most of these tools, except for the Spread Your Wings webinar, is on that site. But you don't send someone to that site. And the reason you don't send them to that site first is because there's a lot of information on that site. A lot of the right kind of information that you would want them to see, but not right away because it's too much. Okay, so it's just where things live in total. And then here's a training site where you have all the world-class training that I mentioned earlier for every aspect of building your business that you get for free. So I'm going to take this to another level, and that is specifically. So the business focused tools, for example, this is the Spread Your Wings webinar. This is a big picture business opportunity webinar. And anybody interested in a home business, this is what I would show them. And the reason I would show them this is because I want them to see the big picture. I want them to understand what's possible. It's up to them to decide. I'm not going to pressure them one way or the other. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, you need to really do this and spend 12 hours a day when their desire is to do it and spend an hour a day, right? I'm going to serve them wherever they are, but I owe them the opportunity to see what's possible, right? And this is an incredible presentation to show people what's really, how big this picture really is, how amazing this opportunity really is. And then this is a short 3-minute one, right? So this will serve someone who's really just like, yeah, I just want to find something to play with a little bit. And that's so fine. Home Business Made Easy is an awesome little clip. And that's found on the Explore site, but that's a unique URL. You'd send that first. And then you have Nutrition Made Easy, which is all about a lot of health statistics and why BioBasics is so important. OPC Advantage is about a parenthenols product, which is a phenomenal nutrient. The Body Smart program is just another, it is the best weight control program that you can find, not just for effectiveness, but for cost effectiveness and for long-term sustainability and what people learn. People can lose weight fast, but they keep it off because of what they learn. It's an unbelievable program. It teaches people how to eat right and removes the confusion, and it's simple to do. And then Excel, which is a tremendous product for performance and brain format. So these are all unique things where, you know, as you'll see how it rolls, it's pretty easy to use them. And then preparation. So preparation. First, prepare your home space, right? You want to create a little space that's yours. And so that's hey, that's where you work. When I first started in the business, many, many moons ago, I was living in a little tiny 1-bedroom apartment in Gaithersburg with my wife and basically a new baby and a new puppy. Wow, you talk about a disaster. Getting married, having a baby, having a puppy, starting a business all in the same year. You want to make your life hard on yourself? I'm not sure I could have added anything else to make it any harder than I did. But so what I did is I took a little tiny desk and I put it right in the little corner of this little dining room. It was my little tiny space, but it's where I went. So boom, I went to that desk and I was clocking in. And so in that space, you put your goals, or whatever it is, because you can work from anywhere, right? But you should have a little space to call home in your home. That's your workspace, right? And then social media. This is a really important thing. Do not plaster the name of the company or the products or your company website or anything like that on social media. You know, I mean, I see people do it all the time and they self-sabotage, right? They think that people are going to be interested, but they're not. People don't go on social media to come to your website and buy a product. That's not what they're on there for. And so the real point of this is that you want to utilize home business in a way that is smart, right? You want to do it in a smart way. And so you have the situation where if you put the name of your company, you put the name of your products on your social media sites, then people will see that and go to Google and look it up. And when they go to Google and look it up, they probably end up on the company website. And when they end up on the company website, they're ending up on a nice site, but that's all about features. Features don't tell people what's in it for them. That's benefits. Benefits tell them what's in it for them, and then features matter. The tools are what tell the benefits. And so you have to help people in the right way. And so important, just to start, we'll teach you how to do social media right. Social media is a huge part of a massive marketing strategy I teach to people who really want to build a big business. And there's some simple tips to use in any capacity to build your business. So we'll teach you how to do it right, but just immediately don't do it wrong, okay? And then email list setup, you're going to set up 3 email lists, one for your contacts, the people that you're immediately engaging, to keep track of any email dialogue that goes back and forth. And then have 2 lists set up, one for people that become customers and one for people that become business builders. Okay, and then you'll start with your first 32 to 100. So for someone who's like, if you don't have big goals, your first 32 will be a real comfortable place to start. And over the next week or 2, you'll contact those 32 using the process you learned. For those of you who want to build a big business, 100 is a great place to start. And you got tons of contacts, right? If you look at your phone, you probably have 300 or 400 in your phone, and you probably got another 1,000 or more in your Facebook. And it depends on what you're in, but you have plenty of people to talk to. It's not a problem, and we're going to teach you how to do it in the easiest way possible. And then, at the bottom of the page in the training site, you'll see a place where you can order the process and the process 2. These are nice little books that will make a big difference in you getting an understanding of how simple this is. And the process is the fun and easy way to build an income stream for life, because that's what this is about. And the process 2 is more about the efficiencies in the process. So make sure you get those two books, because they're going to be incredibly helpful. And then this is the Million Lives Team training site. Essentially, come to the training center, and then you just click on the business training page, right? And in the business training page, under the first page, is a training gallery, and that's going to have all kinds of videos in it that you'll be able to access to learn lots of stuff. Okay, so the process for building a long-term successful business. The first thing to recognize is the process is a conversation. Okay, it's just a conversation. That's all it is. And so think about the farmer and how the farmer goes about his or her business every year without fail. They prepare their soil, right? Then they plant their seed, then they nurture their crop, and then they harvest. And they do it every year, right? They never change this pattern. They never question this pattern. They know if they prepare the soil and plant the seed and nurture the crop and harvest, that they're going to produce fruit. Now, they might have difficulties in the year, right? Some years the weather doesn't cooperate, the machinery breaks down, or there's blight, or there's whatever, locusts, or, things happen, right? Sure. But in general, year in, year out, they follow a process, and it works. They don't question it. The same thing is here. We have a simple process, absolutely works. If you work it, absolutely works. And that is, prepare the soil is approach. It's like making contact. Planting the seed is sharing your story and some information. Nurturing is following up. And then harvesting is sponsoring and serving. And I'm going to take you through each one of these pieces that we go. So first, we'll talk about the mindset for approaching contacting. Sorry, get thirsty doing this. All right, so the need is great. This is a really, really important thing to understand. The need is great. Statistically, over 70% of the people that have a job in the United States are either unfulfilled or hate it. That's just the way it is, which, by the way, is a recipe for health issues, because that kind of conflict within you will cause stress on a constant basis, which will cause your body to break down. It's just a no-brainer. It's exactly what happens. But I'm not even going in that direction. I'm just saying 70% are unfulfilled or hate their jobs, and over 90, probably closer to 96% of the people need to make more money. 96%. So the need for a home business is gigantic, right? You can just assume it for the most part. And then the need for solutions for eating right and getting what you need, and weight loss and performance and fitness and on and on and on, antioxidants and health issues, the need is massive and growing in that area. So the point is, if the need is great, you don't have to worry about pressuring anyone or convincing anyone, and I wouldn't teach you that anyway because I don't believe in it. And there's not any need for it. I've never had to work on that. I don't teach any convincing techniques. I teach being nice and honest and sharing it in a simple way. And I teach this mindset. So think about it like this. The need is great. So everybody you know, right? And even people you don't know. So let's say you're standing on the deck of a ship. You're out in the middle of the ocean. And as far as your eyes can see, there are people in the water. And next to you is a stack of life preservers that's endless. It goes as tall as you can see, and each time you grab one and chuck it, it seems like it's replaced by another one. And so all these people need a life preserver. What would you do? Would you say, oh, geez, I don't know if I want to throw them a life preserver. What would they think? Well, they might not be interested in my life preserver. No, you would chuck these life preservers as fast as you could, and it wouldn't be on you whether they went after it or not, right? If somebody decided not to go after it, you're not going to jump in the water. If you jump in the water, now you're in the water. Now there's nobody to throw any life preservers. And that is my mindset. That's the mindset I teach. We are doing people an incredible favor. We are giving them a gift that can change their life. We can't make them take it. We can't make them do it. We can't change anybody's life if they're not willing to take a step. But we can sure offer it. We can sure have the heart to offer it to them. And then the other thing that I make sure you understand is that we work with human nature, right? Human nature says this: of every 10 people who have a need, 2 are ready to act on that need, right? That's just a human nature statistic. It's true in everything, right? So I work with human nature. I'm only looking for the 2 out of every 10. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to worry about trying to make the 8 do what they're not ready to do yet. I'm just trying to identify them. But I'm actually doing even more than that. So that's a simple concept. You can count that it's going to kind of pan out that way. The other concept is the awareness piece, because this is a really interesting one. You know, think about this. Let's say that you decided you wanted to open up a coffee shop, right? So you took I don't even know what it costs to open a coffee shop. It's probably like 30 to 50 grand to open a coffee shop. And so you get your funds together and get your bank loan, or maybe you put a second mortgage on your house. You do whatever you got to do, and you open your coffee shop because you want to be in business for yourself, right? And so you go down to you get a little spot in a strip mall or on Main Street or somewhere, and you hang out your little shingle for, your coffee shop. And then what do? Do you just sit there? Or do you make sure people know you have a coffee shop? Like, don't you let everybody you know that you have a coffee shop? Because after all, if they drink coffee, 96% of them probably drink coffee, just like 96% of them probably need to make money. It'd be good for them to know that you have a coffee shop, right? Because the bottom line is, secret agent coffee shops, they don't last very long, right? They don't stay in business very long. The world has to know you have a coffee shop so people can make the decision to come or not to come, right? And you don't take it personally if Bob doesn't decide to come check out your coffee. You're not convenient to where Bob is, right? So it's about awareness. And so when you're reaching out and you're throwing your life preservers and you're doing people a favor and you're working with human nature, you win 10 out of 10 times, because 10 out of 10 times someone is now becoming aware that you're in business. And that is a win, because you're in business for life. You're not in business for a month. If you are, you shouldn't be with us, right? You're in the wrong place. You should go sell like airplanes or something, where 1 month, if you sold one, it would really do well, right? So here we're teaching you how to build something for life, right? And so those people that say, no, what they're really saying is not yet for me. I'm not ready to act on my need yet. It doesn't hurt enough yet. I'm not in enough pain yet. I'm not enough emotional pain yet. I'm not tired of being poor yet. I'm not. You understand what I'm saying? People just aren't, whatever reason, they're not ready to act. Okay, that's fine. That's just a not yet. We treat them with kindness, honesty, and respect, and let them know we're going to be around, right? Because we're in business. And let me tell you, a lot of these people will end up back in your business at some point. And I teach you all about how to work this process of the not yets over time. That's in the process too. And then natural, not perfect. This is not about you learning a special script. This is not about you having to act a certain, like a certain robot. This is about you being your unique self. It's about you talking the way you would talk. It's about you being the person you are and just growing up as that person to get bigger and better. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Who likes perfect? I don't think anybody even likes perfect, right? So you don't worry about being perfect in what you say. You just be real. Just be a real, authentic self. I mean, this is my perspective on life, but if your real, authentic self isn't good enough for somebody, that's the wrong person. You shouldn't even be hanging out with that person. And so then the next thing is you go through your first 32 to 100 as fast as you can, right? And it's pretty simple. I'm going to get to how you do that. But first, I want to talk a little bit about some of your challenges. So the first one is dogs barking. Are dogs barking a challenge for you? So what does that mean? What that means is there are going to be people that criticize you, right? And they're going to criticize you maybe ignorantly because they don't understand what you're doing, but probably mostly because they're going to criticize you because you're trying to do something. And you trying to do something sticks a mirror in their face. And so rather than them deal with the mirror, they're going to criticize you, right? Because that's easier for them. And so the point is, if you weren't doing anything, they wouldn't criticize you. Just like a dog doesn't bark at a parked car, does it? It barks at a car that's moving, but it doesn't bark at a parked one. And so my attitude is, I'm going to move, and you can bark all you want. Because sooner or later, you're going to run out of juice from barking, and I'm going to be a lot further ahead, and it won't matter. I won't even hear you anymore. So let them bark, because as long as they're barking, you're doing something in life. If someone's not barking at you right now in your life, you should take pause for that, right? You say, okay, I'm obviously not doing something of substance that could make a difference, because if I'm making everybody happy, I'm probably not making me happy, and I'm probably not doing much to make my family really flourish, right? So let the dogs bark. Next is fear and doubt. Look, nobody had more fear than me. I mean, I know everybody probably thinks their fear is the greatest, so I'm going to be like that. I'm going to be like everybody. My fear was massive. It was insane. It was huge. I mean, my fear of rejection, oh man, that was just massive for me. Absolutely massive for me. But you know what I feared worse? I feared not doing it worse, right? I feared not doing it worse. It was way more uncomfortable for me to think about a life going forward with kind of hopelessness than it was of taking a step out and betting on myself even when I didn't think I was worth betting on, but just doing it anyway and going through my own doubts. Everybody has doubts, right? You're human. You have doubts, right? So what? This works. People do it. So can you. If you'll take a step, right? Because the way to remove fear and doubt is motion. If you're in motion, it all just kind of goes away. So will you face some of that? I don't know, because your situation will be different than the next person's situation. But I can tell you this, doesn't matter who you are. The more you do it, the less you feel it. And the more you're doing it, you're not feeling it anyway because you're in motion. And then your comfort zone, I already talked a little bit about that. Your comfort zone's a cage. You don't want to be there. That's a dead zone. There's just no way you want to spend time in a comfort zone. You want to get out. You want to be stretching. You want to have moments of uncomfort. Matter of fact, when I'm doing leadership training for corporate leaders, or even big leadership training for hundreds of leaders in the networking industry, one of the things I say is, how often are you uncomfortable? If you're not uncomfortable, you better start getting uncomfortable, because if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're not setting an example in life of someone who's striving to become more, because the only way to become more is to have discomfort. Okay, so behavior fundamentals. This is what we teach. Nice, honest, respectful. Nice, honest, respectful. This is our platform behaviors. If someone is not nice and honest and respectful, they're probably not going to fit in with our team or our organization or even with our company, because we're just founded on these kinds of principles. No pressure. We don't pressure anyone ever for any purpose. Pressure is selfish. If you're ever in a situation where you're pressuring someone or they're pressuring you, that's because they want you to do something or you want them to do something, right? It's about what you want and not what's best for them. So pressure is selfish. We don't do it. It's all about what's best for them, right? So remember that. So everything we do is about making someone comfortable. Everything we teach in the process is about making someone comfortable. And the reason that we do that is because if they're comfortable, they'll be willing to learn. They're going to want to learn, right? People have the need is great. They already know the need is great. There's no need to convince them of that. You don't need to convince someone if they need to lose weight that they need to lose weight, right? You don't need to convince someone if they need to make money that they need to make money. It's your job just to be a messenger in a kind way and an open way and a respectful way, and give them a little inspiration about how you feel about it and make them comfortable enough to know, hey, you can check this out. And if you like it, we can talk. It's not difficult. And man, that because I teach this style and I developed this style because I was so uncomfortable with communicating with people, because I was so shy. And so I had to figure out a way to do it. And heck, when I was, first getting started, I didn't have the internet. I couldn't text. I couldn't do any of that stuff. I had to talk to somebody. I had to overcome it. And so I came up with a style that didn't just work for me. It works for anybody. There are hundreds of thousands of people worldwide who follow this teaching because that helps anybody to do it. Okay? So I'm going to take you into some specifics about the contacting. So an approach is making a contact. So the best way to do that is a direct message to a conversation. You always want to get into a conversation as fast as you can. Can you do the business over text? Yes, you can, but it will not yield the same results per time invested, because you don't have the emotion. You can't hear emotion and real connection through a text. There's too much room for bad interpretation, but you can do it because of the tools, but then you're not growing, right? That's because you would be using that to shrink away, when in fact you can easily grow with what we teach. You can easily grow your learning. So we use a direct message to a conversation, either in text or voice text. I'm a big fan of voice text because I am all thumbs, and so text takes me a while, but I can hit the voice text button and just boom, speak my voice into their text area so they hear me. And man, it's awesome because you can do it so much faster and people can hear your emotion. And so I can do a text, hey man, I want to chat with you, let me know when you can talk, right? Or hey, I got something important to tell you, let me know when you can talk. Do you see how different that is than if I'd actually typed that? Or hey, trying to connect with you for a minute, let me know when you can talk. And then somebody gets right back to me and says, hey, what's going on? Boom. So those are really simple. You text to get to a voice conversation, because if you call people in today's world, they don't answer the phone, right? They will look at it. They know it's ringing. They know someone's on it. You do it all the time. I do it all the time. Phone rings. I don't answer it, right? If it's important, you leave a message. But if you shoot somebody a text, they'll reply right away. I don't know why it works that way. It just does. Okay, so here's an approach for someone where it's been a while. See, what I showed you back here, right? This was for someone that you're in pretty close contact with. There's probably anywhere in your first 100 people probably would fit this. For some of you who have lots of relatively who are extroverts, that would be bigger. But for me, it certainly wasn't that that size of a number. Okay, so this is for, hey, it's been a while. So you start with like the salutation. Hey Sally, or hey my old friend, or hey friend, or hey whatever, hey whatever. Hey, it's been a while since we talked. Love to catch up with you real quick for a few minutes. Is there a time we can chat for a minute? And by the way, I say text. It could be Facebook Messenger. It could be WhatsApp. Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp are two massive messaging tools that do the same thing as text. They're essentially the same animal. And you can do those all day. And you can also do voice ones on both of those. Hey, it's been forever since we talked. I'd like to catch up with you as soon as possible for a few minutes. What's a good time? See, that's just natural. It's just real. It's just what you do. But again, if you do it by voice, it's more impactful. Again, process book and training site give you all kinds of stuff. And then if you think about this in the approach, this is what's called the connection. So when it's someone in your first 100, typically, you know what? You know quite a bit about these people. You remember them. You remember having conversations with them about something they were trying to accomplish or something they were struggling with, right? I mean, that's normal. And so a natural thing is to say, hey, I remember you saying, or I remember you were trying to, or I remember hearing you say, or I remember we talked about. Man, that's a total connection. People are like, yeah, man. Yeah, because it's so real, right? It's just normal. And then, you finish it up. You were trying to lose weight, you were working out, you were trying to eat healthy, you were struggling with, you were talking about finding a way to make more money, you were thinking about a career change. I mean, that's normal. This is normal conversation we're teaching, right? Anybody can do this, right? And everybody responds to it because it's not, like this clever little tie down, twist around scripty thing. It's just real. It's just real stuff that anybody can do. And so, that people respond and you can send them information. I'll touch a little bit more in a moment. Here's something for business. And so this is really important to understand a little bit. Your short story about why you started a business is really impactful. It's a huge difference maker for the person. So, if you take the time to say, hey, you still looking for something, or you're trying to do this, or hey, are you open to something? Or, hey, I like to say, hey, I got to tell you a quick story. You might not know this, but I really was struggling for a while. I couldn't stand my job, or we were just having so much trouble. We couldn't travel. We were getting into debt. It was eating me alive, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I stumbled into a couple things and made some more mistakes, and then I bumped into this guy who shared this unbelievable company with me. I mean, I couldn't believe it was something I could start with literally no investment risk, and I didn't have to stock any products. And anyway, I love it, and I'm expanding it, and you're exactly the kind of person I like to work with. Would you be open to learning about it, right? It's something that simple. Now I'm giving you some other examples here. A compliment could be, hey, Bob, I just always considered you a sharp person. I always considered you an entrepreneur. I always considered you someone who is, open-minded. I always considered you someone who, you just have great people skills. I mean, it's got to be true or you shouldn't use it. But that is a great way to initiate a conversation because that's describing why you would talk to them. But these particular words, I'm expanding my business and you're the kind of person I'd love to work with, or I have a business project or I have a business idea that I'd like to run past you. That's just simple stuff. And most people are wide open. Maybe you can help me is another great thing to say. Hey, maybe you can help me, and then you tell your little story. I was struggling. I was trying to find something, blah, blah, blah. I found this great business. Now I'm expanding. And, you're the kind of person I like to work with. I'm not sure if this is for you or not. And so I'm not really directly asking you. I mean, unless, of course, you are open to something. But I would love to find someone like you. And people do know people similar to themselves. But in many cases, they say, well, wait a minute, maybe I would be open to it. Or, because that approach makes them open to helping. Or I'm looking for a key person in your area, right? Any town outside of yours can be, I'm looking for a key person in your area. I'm looking for someone in your field, right? In someone in financial planning or someone in whatever, because you're in a field of endeavor where they connect with people. Or it's an ideal way to create another income stream for someone in, like a personal training business or yoga or massage. There's just so many ideas. It's endless. It's endless. And it really is endless. I'm just giving you some nuggets here. But what you would do next is you would then send them the Spread Your Wings webinar or Home Business Made Easy. And again, I would send the Spread Your Wings webinar first, unless they said, unless they were like really kind of, only like remotely lukewarm interested, then I might send Home Business Made Easy. But I probably would still send Spread Your Wings because I'm going to show you the big picture. And the response to that is like really powerful. So I'm going to show you the big picture. And you're either going to be interested or not either way. So I might as well show you the big picture. And because, the rest of the picture is in there too, but it's the bigger picture where Home Business Made Easy is just a little touch. It's an awesome tool, but it's just a little touch. All right, so then you have the ask or the offer. And so this is important. It's all about back to that comfortable thing. If it's not for you, that's okay. Would you be open to learning about it? That is a great thing to say because what you're saying is, look, no big deal. No big deal if it's not for you. I'm doing this. This is a great thing. I know this is a good thing. I believe it. I know what's going on. I know how long it's been around. I know the people. This is a good thing. If it's not for you, don't worry about it because I'm doing it anyway. Most people will be like, oh, no, I want to check it out, right? And then you can also use that language, checking it out. Here's something important to know. Any answer other than no is a sign of interest. So if someone says, Yeah, it depends on what it is. I might be interested. Depends on what it is. Or yeah, sort of every now and then I'll look at something. Or well, what is it? Or what can you tell me about it? Anything like that is a sign of interest. Because if someone isn't interested, they will definitely say no. If they're not open, they will say no. Because their perception is that you're going to try to convince them, and they'd rather get right to it and not be in that situation. You're not going to try to convince them. So when they say no, I'm like, okay, thanks a lot. And what did I just do? Man, did I make them curious, right? Because now they don't understand. Hey, what do you mean? Well, what do you mean that's okay? What do you mean? Aren't you going to try to convince me? Aren't you going to try to talk me into it? No, I wouldn't spend 1 second trying to do that. I'd rather you walk around going, I wonder what that was. I wonder what. And I guarantee you what will happen next time I see that person, they'll say, hey, what were you talking about before? And then I'll really have some fun with them. Well, what are you talking about? You know what? Well, didn't you come? Oh, yeah, man, I mean, things are awesome for me. Things are going great, which they are, right? Because we are absolutely exploding and people are getting started and having success fast and it's so much fun, And I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm doing great. Stuff is awesome. I'm growing and my business is growing. They're like, well, can you tell me about it? I'm like, why? Are you interested? I'm sorry. I mean, you got to have fun and this is fun. So bottom line is if someone says no, hey, okay, have at it. But if I had tried to convince them, they don't walk away wondering, right? See, if you try to convince someone and they resist you, when they walk away, their attitude is, haha, I won. But when you go, okay, no big deal, then when they walk away, they're scratching their head wondering, I wonder what was going on. And their closed mind becomes a little thorn in their side. So I just remember, you're not trying to get someone to sign up. You're just trying to find out who's open to learning, right? How can they get involved in something they don't know what it is yet, right? So it's all about just seeing, are you open to learning, period. And if you are, okay. And so here's a really important piece, your story piece. Your story positions the information. Once people hear your story, then they are better able to see the information in the right lens. Now, information is great anyway, but it's just the nature of it. You see, the biggest challenge I see for people when they get started, once they figure out how simple it is that internal dialogue that says, well, my story's not any good. Why is my story any good? I mean, I haven't done anything. I haven't accomplished anything. That has nothing to do with why your story is good. You see, your story of how you even got to the situation that you were doing this, that is the part of the story that matters. And the reason that's what matters is because you were trying to solve a problem. Whatever it was, you were trying to solve a problem. That's how you ended up in Life Plus. Whether it was from a customer perspective with a problem or whether it was from a business perspective to try to solve a problem for money or time or freedom or career change or fulfillment or whatever that was. And that is exactly what's happening for that person right now. You see, struggle is what people identify with, not necessarily success, right? Even when you become very successful, you better talk about your problems and your struggles before you talk about success. Because a success to a success story is at best boring, and at worst it aggravates someone. But a struggle to success story, now that is interesting, right? Because that brings hope. So you get inspired in life when you hear about people who are taking action from struggle. You get inspired by that. You don't get inspired by somebody who's got $1 million who just made another million, right? I mean, who cares about that? And so the problem that you were trying to solve, the real, authentic, relatable problem, being totally real, man, people relate to that and they then trust you deeply and they'll also go, wow, they're connecting to that. And then the journey you went on, the different things you tried to fix it, right? Oh, yeah, I was trying to find a way to make more money and, I was tired of being at the end of the month and we were falling behind on bills and I just was feeling so bad about that. And so I was trying to figure out a way to get, we started investigating some home businesses and went to a couple of presentations. I signed up in this one thing. It cost me $1,000. And then, oh my gosh, and the more I dug deeper, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I didn't get my money back. And then I kept looking and for a while I didn't look. And then I felt bad again. I mean, you hear what I'm saying? This is just real stuff. And the person who's listening is going, oh man, I know exactly I know where you were. Right? Because I've been there too. And so that person is in the middle of their struggles. And then you say, how you found this? I found this because I was talking to a friend. He said, I got to tell you about this thing I found. I'm like, oh, geez, I wonder what this is. I'm like, no, man, I'm telling you, there's no sign-up fees, no kits to buy. This company's been around for 25 years. It's an awesome thing. It's a really pure, good thing. I mean, and you're like, wow, I can't believe there's no sign-up fees, no kits to buy, no products to stock, no hype, no pressure. That sounds unbelievable. And so I checked it out, and it was true. And then heck, I could buy the product direct at wholesale, and if I didn't like it, I could send it back. And I'm like, that was easy, and I get a free account when I do that. Oh my gosh! And then I found out about all the tools, and then I learned about the people, and I learned about the people doing it, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is an unbelievable opportunity, and all out of like, I couldn't believe it. And so the whole time you're telling your story, this other person is following you through their own version of your story, which includes themselves. That's how human beings process, and we process stories. Stories sell, right? Stories sell. Facts, information, they tell. Stories are what attract people, and everybody has a story. And see, when you share how you found out, you could tell your sponsor story, the person who invited you or someone you met who's got a bigger story if you want. You don't have to, but you can. I mean, it's powerful. It's good. For example, you're talking to someone about the business in a big way. It's good to share my story, right? I mean, the guy you'd be working with, you meet, he's built a huge business and he helps everybody. And what he's teaching is incredible stuff. And because it is, and you'll learn that. But your story is as good as it's ever going to be right now, right? I mean, the more successful you become, the farther away you get from that person who's in their struggle right now. I mean, that's the thing I try to make sure people understand. Hey, your story when you start, that is awesome, man. That's exactly where other people are. They're going to be able to see what you see because you can provide it to them information. You don't even have to be able to tell it, right? And so once you've done that, you just send them the link or the tool to the specific information, like the links I showed you earlier, and then you could do a meeting or you could do get together. You could do a video call. We do a lot of those things to help. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. All right, and then follow up. So here's another area that is really, really huge in being successful. So you talk to the person. They say, yeah, I'm interested in checking out. I said, great. I'm going to send you this information right now. When can you check? When can you look at it? I could look at it today. Great. When do you think you can look at it? I can look at it like 3 or 4. Okay. So how about if I give you a call later at 5? Look, if it's not for you, it's fine. But, I just want to make sure that we keep the process going here. Right? See, it's a soft committer, right? So I can't get to it today, maybe tomorrow. How about, okay, so you can get to it tonight and I'll check you out tomorrow. We're not talking about a long commitment, right? And so you ask for a time when they'll get to the information and then you follow up and you keep your commitments. Now, there's certainly in some of the materials more other verbiage you can use, but the gist is you say, hey, if I send you out this, will you look at it? If I, will you, right? If I, will you? If I send this out, will you look at this today? Yeah, I can look at it today. Great, I'll call you tomorrow. Or great, I'll call you later today. And then you keep your commitment because you keeping your commitment establishes your credibility. It shows that you're a person who keeps your commitment. You might think that's a small thing, but if I tell you I'm going to call you at 2, you can pretty much bet I'm going to call you at 2. If I didn't, something really happened, right? Because I'm going to keep my commitment. Because by doing that, I continue to establish my credibility. And people do business with people they know and they trust and they like. And credibility has a lot to do with that. And so they might not show up. You might say, hey, call me at 3, and you call and they don't answer. But you showed up and you leave a message and say, hey, man, I'm calling as we agreed. So shoot me a message back. And if you're not around right now, I'm still around for a bit. Call me and let me know when we can talk, right? So you follow up. You do what you're supposed to do. And really in the follow-up, you're just filling in holes. You're just furthering the conversation. They're interested. They wanted some information. Now they're either further interested or they're not, which is either way is fine, right? And the same thing is true. If they're not further interested, they'll tell you right away. And then you make it safe to try. So, you relate back to your story. The cool thing here is there's no risk. You get to, to order the products. You get them at my cost, which is the wholesale, direct from the manufacturer. You don't pay a startup fee to have the right to do that. And you can return them. You just have to pay shipping if you send it back, which is way better than you can do in a store. Because if you buy a supplement in a store, you ain't taking that back, right? That's you own it, whether you like it or not. So you've made it completely risk-free, essentially, for them to try it. And then you're building your credibility. Following up builds your credibility. It shows that you're serious. It shows that you really did care about them, right? If you talk to them about how this might help them and then you don't follow up, what does that say about what you said? It says that you didn't really mean it, right? So, but when you do follow up, people expect you to follow up. That's good business. You want to be known as someone who does what they say. That's the kind of person they want to be in business with, the person who does what they say, the person who will show up when they say they're going to show up. Important to know, asking for the order is not pressure. It's expected. It's part of what you have to do. What is pressure is if the person says no. See, if you say, are you ready to get started? Like, no, I'm not ready yet. And then you start pressuring them. Well, why aren't you ready yet? Well, now you're into pressure, right? All right. You can say, okay, is there anything else I can get for you in the time? Is there some more information I can get for you, right? It's not a, come on, why aren't you ready? Right? Asking for the order is not pressure. And many times they're like, hey, you want to get started? You want to give it a try? A lot of people are, well, yeah. And then you facilitate the order. In other words, you say, oh, that's cool. You know what? You're going to love this. It only takes like 2 minutes. And you could three-way the call them right into the company. It only takes 2 minutes. We can do a three-way right now. And boom, it'll be done in a couple minutes. Your stuff will be on your way. You'll have your free account. Or if you want to just give me your information real quick, you know, the address and your credit card number, and I'll just place the order for you. Or let's jump on my tablet right here and just fill out your order and book. Right? You facilitate the order. That's what you do in business, right? That's just good business. And so then sponsoring to serve. Okay, so we're getting close to wrapping up here. So sponsoring to serve. First thing is thank you note. Right? Send a thank you note every single time. You can send any kind of thank you note. It's just this as long as it's an acknowledgement and a thanks, right? You can be in your own stuff, your own little notes or something. I like to use Life Plus branded ones from Cafe Press /Life Plus. I like to use that because it further reinforces. But here's the power of a thank you note. It's one of those little things that you do that has huge implications, right? It's a great, powerful equity, emotional equity building tool because people don't do it. I'm not talking about a thank you email. I mean, you can do that too, but you got to do the handwritten note if you really want to build in that component of you value them and they believe you care. And I tell you, I've made a huge impact in my career by sending thank you notes because I do it on a regular basis and I send a lot of them a year. But man, do I have a lot of equity with people as a result, because even though everybody who ever talks about how to best serve a customer will say, always send a thank you note, think to yourself of all the things you bought and all the things you did in this last year where you might have helped someone. How many thank you notes did you get in the last year? 5, 6, 3, 10, none? I mean, think about all the stuff you did. You should have been getting 10 a month, right? So when you send a thank you note, you stand out so far above everybody else. It's amazing. It's this little thing. It takes you 30 seconds to do it. It's not anything, heavy duty. You're just writing this little note. Hey, Bob, thank you so much for placing an order. And I appreciate your faith in me and your trust in me. And I really look forward to serving you. Well, that's pretty easy, right? So send a thank you note. Add them to your customer email group that I talked about setting up. Add them to the Million Lives Team Facebook page so they have access to all the wonderful resources and information in the community and the product training calls and all the stuff that goes on in that page. Add them to the Body Smart Facebook page if that's what they're doing. And then talk to them as soon as they receive their product, right? I'll tell somebody, hey, promise me you'll let me know when your products come so I can walk you through best use, because I want them to have a great experience when they get started. And then sponsoring to serve the business builder. Again, thank you note. Add them to the email group, add them to the Facebook groups, get them the Fast Start training video, which is, this, including the Fast Start training document. So they have the hard version. It's not the same as the video, of course, because I say a lot more tangential stuff here. And then schedule a time to chat with them about what they've gone through and what they want to do. And if they want to learn about the entrepreneur group and they want to build a big business and they'd like to go faster and then learn how to do the complete online marketing blueprint where you build a marketing engine man, that's powerful stuff. And if they say, yeah, I'd like to learn about that, then you share the entrepreneur group video. And so how you get that video is if you're in the entrepreneur group, you already know. But if you're not in the entrepreneur group, then you get that video from whoever in your upline community is in that group, who is playing bigger, right? Again, bigger, it has nothing to do with value to the community, and it's just about your goals, right? Individual goals, but that group is getting trained at a way higher level to literally build an online marketing engine to do anything they want in life. I mean, it's a pretty amazing thing for that group. And anybody can be in it. I'm just going to say that. Anybody can, and lots of people will grow their way in. And so then you'd share that entrepreneur group video, and if they like what they see after the video, you introduce them to the upline and they'll help you. All right, so this is one of the last things I want to cover, and it's the bonus pool. If you go to the Mentalized Team Training site and you're in that training gallery I've mentioned before under business videos, where there's stuff about the process and about your list and about what to say and all this, a lot of great stuff, how to set up yourself administratively. There's one on the marketing plan. But this is a really cool little feature of the marketing plan. And I helped to build this, so I know this intimately, and I helped to build it because this is a classic type of Life Plus thing. You see, most companies set aside bonus pool type money for top producers, people like me who built a big business, and then this is another perk that we get. But when we did this, and I was part of the development of this, the most important people in this company are the people getting started. And so let's make sure that they have an opportunity to do something meaningful for them before, as they get started, because it's, lots of people have never made any money in home business, which is ridiculous because it's not hard to do so if you're in a good company with good support and good tools, especially something as fair and honest as ours. And so we created this program where in your first month, if you get 3 new first level active customers, you get 3 shares in the bonus pool. Now, a first level active customer would be these 3 right here under this young lady, Kelly Utz, who sponsored Victoria and Janie and Sue. And she did it all right at the beginning of March, which is awesome because here she is in the bonus pool already. But you need at least a 40-point order. And that's the point value, the IP value of each product is the point value. That's what we're paid on. And that's also how they base qualification on. So she now would have 3 shares of this bonus pool. And you can tell she would because over here to the right, it says the last number says 3 and it's green. If the number was red, right, it would still say 0 because red means she'd have 1 more share to get, okay? But she started the month. This was her benchmark. It was really her first month. She started introducing people. So she'd never had anybody that she'd sponsored before, and she needed to get 3 in order to get in the bonus pool. And so this represents how many are left to get in, which is 0 because she's in the bonus pool. And so they divide a portion of the sales in the company, and then they divide it by all the shares of the people that qualify for the bonus pool and come up with a share value. And so she'll get paid on the commission on those 3 first level orders. Plus she'll get a bonus pool share for each one. And the shares, the lowest I've ever seen is like $15, and the highest I've seen is like $40 to $50. You don't know where it's going to be month to month, but it's a nice little bonus. It's usually certainly in excess of 20, but sometimes it could be lower, but still. And so what happens here is people can get a check for $100 in their first month, even for just sponsoring 3 customers, which is really, really cool, right? I don't know anywhere else that does that, right? Because we're helping out the person who's never really had success at this or is new at this, to get a feel and get that reward. But here's the cool thing about this young lady's situations. Here, this is on the 7th of March, and she's already got 3, but she could get many more. I've seen as many as 30 to 40 shares in a month for some people who really hit it hard. So you're not limited. 3 is just the floor. You can't get 2. You have to get at least 3 shares. But it is a great little engine to use to drive your business. And so here's some closing thoughts. Tony Robbins said this: your life doesn't happen to you. it happens for you. And I can't stress this enough. I know this has been true. This has been true for me. Well, there's been so many times in my life when I was struggling or going through a situation. I'm wondering, what is this supposed to mean for me? And out of it came something wonderful, right? I mean, it's happened every time. That's how I ended up where I am now, and that's how I ended up doing this right in this moment for you, right? Is things that happened for me in order to help more people and go farther. You have so much that you can contribute to this planet that you don't even know yet. But you got to remember that all of the great journeys begin with a single step, right? It just takes a single step, and you can go around the world in a single step. I mean, you might have to swim a couple times, but it's a step by step. You can get anywhere step by step. And here, the steps can go faster and faster. And it's a fact. In 12 months, your life will be changed forever for the better if you take action. Well, I should say when you take action. I'm not going to assume you're not, because you will. You can do this. I mean, everybody's can do it. And lots of other people are doing it and having a great time. You're going to have all the support and tools and all the stuff that you've seen. But I mean it. I mean, think about it. Think about how alive you'll feel with your life being totally changed in 12 months. That's just pretty cool. You're always only 12 months away from total life change. I know, because I've done that on multiple occasions in my life. Completely changed my life in 12 months. And so it is true. You can if you think you can. You can. You can. And we will help you, because that's the nature of our work, because you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And it is true, the faster you work, the more fun you're going to have. But I tell you, this is a game changer. You're in the right place at the right time with the right people and the right tools and the right company, and an opportunity to make a massive difference in your future and in the future of your children and the people that you care about. And so come on now, let's go change the world together. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited to meet you and that you're a part of our team. So dive right in, get back with your sponsor, and get the ball rolling. And look forward to seeing you soon.